Hey, good evening, everybody. We're gonna let everybody jump in here, give them another minute or two. Hopefully, everybody had a great start of the work week. Hi, Lucky. So we have a beautiful view out of Dayton of what's left of our sunset on this beautiful Monday evening. And boy, did we need a break. Of course, these camera views brought to you by Nader Boys. Nader Boys are homegrown storm chasers that actually were the ones being chased on Saturday night. We were kind of chatting a little bit about that in our little chat room, and they were mentioning how they're going to have to sit there and try to find storms to chase and have them not chasing them. So we are going to be talking a little bit about the severe weather threat this week. Luckily, it is not looking like anything like it did last week. But being right smack dab in the middle of severe storm season, we definitely have to keep weather aware. We do have a few chances to pick up some additional rain this week, which we do not need right now. Any rainfall that we get now is just going to exaggerate the flooding conditions that we have out there right now. I know several rural schools will not be in session tomorrow, mainly because many of the roads are inaccessible due to water being over the roads. So I know several major thoroughfares such as K Highway here in Henry County, water over the road, but luckily the Grand River is dropping a little faster than what they had forecasted. So hopefully it's going to be down and passable by tomorrow afternoon. But of course we do have some thunderstorms in the forecast over the next 72 hours. So let's go ahead and let's just jump in here real quick. I won't get too much on the technical side tonight of what's going to happen. Mainly, this is just going to be a forecast live stream, so that you guys can take a look at what we can expect over the next couple 3 days and run with it. And then I will do another video maybe on some of the more in-depth discussion about the upcoming forecast. So what you're looking at right now is the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow, for Tuesday. About Cass County and points to the north and west of Harrisonville, all the way up into northern Iowa and southern Minnesota is under a slight risk to see some severe thunderstorms in this yellow shaded area. And then, of course, the darker green shade around here is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. And then the light green is just your general garden variety thunderstorms that can be expected on tomorrow. Now, as far as the tornado threat, part of west central Missouri is in that 2% risk for a tornado. Most of us, the biggest concern is going to be for large hail and for some damaging winds. So we're really in that marginal risk to see some of these stronger storms, but it's going to kind of depend on how strong these storms continue after they originate in central Kansas, northern Iowa. They will slide down in our direction. Some of the models are showing them keeping up their intensity, bringing maybe some strong wind, damaging hail tomorrow night. And then some of them, the one that we're going to look at next, and that's going to be the short-term model, the NAM, the North American model, is showing pretty much just kind of breaking up by the time it gets to west central Missouri. We get a few thunderstorms, and then it moves about its way. So we'll have to see what the Storm Prediction Center comes out with for tomorrow morning. That will come out at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have a little bit better sense of what we can expect, obviously, tomorrow. But right now, looking at all the data, all the models, it's really kind of outlier chance that we get any severe weather tomorrow afternoon. Now, going into Wednesday, we will also be in that marginal risk. Now, there's a slight risk all through central Kansas into Oklahoma and parts of Texas. Now, we'll be watching some of these cells because they will be packing a punch as they move across Kansas. And then we get in one of those little situations in which maybe a cell or two cross the state line into west central Missouri. And I think that's what the Storm Prediction Center is thinking as well, with this marginal risk out here for the western part of west central Missouri. So Cass County, Bates County, Vernon County, maybe Henry County. We're going to have to kind of watch these cells out here in Kansas to see if any of them might hold together and cross the state line. But regardless, we probably expect to see a few thunderstorms here in west central Missouri on Wednesday. Now on Thursday, they're not putting out any kind of risk right now for west central Missouri from the Storm Prediction Center. However, there is some model data that I have looked at tonight because Thursday is going to be probably a rainy day all day, just off and on rain showers, thunderstorms. And there is a hint that we could have a couple of stronger cells in the afternoon on Thursday and again on Thursday night. So it's, we're still 3-4 days away. So we'll have to continue to monitor the trends for Thursday. But altogether, it's really kind of a conditional threat for severe storms here in west central Missouri, but unfortunately, I think we may get maybe an additional 1.5 to 1.75 inches of rain through the end of the week, and we also have another shot of thunderstorms on Sunday that is looking like that they may be severe as well. So it's storm season right now, guys. Now, it has been very, very active. The LRC predicted this outbreak that we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. It predicted that out all the way back right around Christmas time. So pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. I've had those dates of our tornado outbreak all through the Midwest. Actually had that on my calendar. I put that in. It was the last week of February when I did my calendar, and of course I specifically wrote on here severe storm, possibly outbreak, 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. Now that is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we didn't get any severe storms on Wednesday, but they did begin to break out on Thursday. So for a 120-day forecast, that's pretty dang good. That's better than a 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service most of the time. So that's pretty cool. So what we've got going on well, let me just show you what the NAM, the North American model, is kind of showing what the radar may look like, and we'll kind of go through that, and then we might jump into a long ranger. For those that want to stick around, we're going to take a look at the LRC tonight to see what May has to offer for us, see where we're at on rainfall, temperatures, that sort of thing. The global predictor from Weather 2020. We're crossing our fingers that it comes out this week. As corporate sponsors of the LRC and Weather 2020, we get access to this software when it comes out. So what's cool about that is the fact that we can go anywhere around the world, anytime in the next 6 months, and pick a day, and we're going to have a good idea of how much rain we're going to get, how much snow, what the high temperature is, what the low temperature is, anywhere around the world for the next 6 months. So that's going to be awesome. So I know some of you guys have asked me for specific forecasts for this summer. Maybe a vacation and maybe something else. I can't remember now, but I'm hoping this week I'm going to have this. Now, I can do it using the dashboard, in which we'll see here in just a little bit, but it's a little bit more tedious. It's not as clear. I've used it enough. It's clear to me, but it might not be clear to you. So once we get that global predictor, I mean, it's plain as day. You go to that specific spot, pick the day and the month, and here's your forecast. So really, really excited about that. Hopefully this week, sometime, that's going to be made available to us here at Subby's Weather Talk. So here we are for this evening. And, of course, tomorrow, we are going to have a gorgeous day tomorrow. Another beauty during the day, about 80, 83 degrees, right in that frame. Now, tomorrow night, after 6, 7 o'clock, we're going to start to see some thunderstorms begin to erupt up here. This will be in the afternoon, probably around 5, about 5, 6 o'clock. You see these clusters of thunderstorms. These are going to be likely big boys. Now, you can't necessarily take what a model is going to say, this is exactly where this storm is going to form. It does not. But it gives you a good idea that out here in eastern Kansas and up here near northwest Missouri, there's going to be a couple clusters of very strong storms that could form. Now, where they go, we know they're going to go south and east. Now, how far south and east, we'll have to wait that out. Here we are at 8 o'clock. We don't know how far east these storms are going to make it. That's why we're kind of in that conditional threat for severe storms. And then, of course, up here in northwest Missouri, they're going to get hit again, probably pretty hard tomorrow night. So Maryville, they had a couple tornadoes over the weekend. So this is going to be, northwest Missouri is going to be another active area. And how far south this goes, it could affect Smithville, St. Joe, KCI. So this kind of gives us a decent idea where these storms are going to be at. But what they do afterwards, it's still kind of up in the air. So like right now, this is showing up, Gladstone, Smithville, KC Airport, this area here. These are little supercells. So we'll be watching them very closely. This is 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So this is 10 o'clock tomorrow night is what this particular model is showing what radar could look like. And of course, rain and thunderstorms here in west central Missouri likely below severe limits. And then where these go afterward, will they kind of stay together as they come through west central Missouri? That's where we're getting our conditional threat at. So we know there's going to be thunderstorms in the area tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon. So we begin to do this, what I like to call nowcasting. So tomorrow evening we'll be watching these storms, see what kind of strength they have, see what kind of ingredient they have to work with, and we'll kind of base where they're going to go from that at that time. So definitely want to stay weather aware tomorrow evening until we find out exactly where these storms are going to go. And then we'll go into Wednesday morning. There'll be a large complex of thunderstorms out in southeast Kansas. We'll be watching those to see how far east that they should happen to move into. This is 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. Now there's a chance if we see enough sun and enough instability that we could see some of these storms here reach severe levels with some strong winds and some damaging hail. So that's something we're going to be watching for Wednesday afternoon. So pretty much our going forecast right now, guys, it's and I'll be posting this in our room as I always do. But we'll go through this forecast real quick. So tomorrow, sunny, 83 degrees, beautiful. Tomorrow night, we have a chance to see some thunderstorms. Some may be strong to severe. We'll have a low around 61 degrees. Wednesday, sunny with the chance of afternoon storms. Some may be strong to severe as well. 83 for the high on Wednesday. So if we're able to obtain that 83 degrees, along the dew points, climb as well into the low 60s like projected, we could see some of those stronger storms. Wednesday night, another chance of strong thunderstorms, 63 degrees. And then Thursday and Thursday night, it looks like there's going to be multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms on Thursday and Thursday night. Right now, they're not looking. It's going to be kind of a messy day. It's going to be hard to really build up any ingredients for strong thunderstorms. But we'll be watching to see if there's going to be any trends for Thursday. And of course, Friday, after that front passes, we're going to be cooler. We'll have some sunshine, just a small chance of rain, but we'll only have a high around 70 with the low of 50 for Friday night. So still lots of activity going on this week. So we need to make sure that we stay weather aware through the week. On Thursday, I'll be don't have to travel too far this week. So on Thursday, I'll be going to Clinton Middle School and doing my annual seminar over there with Connie and the kids. So I'm looking very forward to that, and I hope they are too. So that's coming up on Thursday. Now, looking out ahead. So this is based on the LRC. I've had this up now for or close to about 3 weeks or so, with very minor adjustments. So wherever you see these red dots is where we see a potential to see maybe some severe weather. Now I placed this on this map, say 14 days ago. So notice on the 26th, 27th, 28th had those red dots, and that's exactly what we had over the weekend. Maybe not 10 inches of rain worthy. Maybe wasn't expecting a tornado outbreak, but the threat of severe weather was definitely highlighted with the LRC. Now, for our system coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, I do not have that highlighted as a severe threat day based on the LRC, but we still need to stay weather aware because we could see a few severe thunderstorms come into west central Missouri. But like I said, it's very, very conditional, so it's not really on really very high up on my confidence for Tuesday and Wednesday. The next threat of the possibility of seeing some severe weather is on May 5th, and that's on a Sunday, and again on May 8th and 9th. So that's kind of the going forecast right now as we go into May, and the threat of some severe weather here in west central Missouri. So our typical severe weather months obviously are going to be April and May. We started back in March, so we're kind of in line to have an extended period of the threat for thunderstorms. We was expecting a very active spring, and so far it has definitely lived up to its name, in which Henry County, as far as any kind of data that I can see, has never had 2 confirmed tornadoes in the county on 2 consecutive days. So we're writing script in the books, in the record books, because of this outbreak. So now, and we'll talk a little bit about the LRC here in a minute. I'm going to get the chat, answer any questions here, but right around the middle of May is when the LRC is showing potential for another similar outbreak, severe storm outbreak like we just encountered. So we'll go into that a little bit on our talk on the LRC. So I'm going to take a look here at chat. I have not been ignoring you. We're just kind of going through a lot of information tonight. Michael, by chance, do you know how the weather's going to be Wednesday between Clinton and Springfield? Kids got field trip to the zoo on Wednesday. Well, that ought to be a good time. And again, we can kind of go back to our short-term model map. So early in the day, this is let's see, school starts at 7. This is about 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And then as we go into the late morning hours, now we're going to be watching this complex of storms down here. So maybe around lunchtime or so, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys got a shower or two down there in Springfield. We'll be watching for any stronger storms, but right now it's looking like maybe just a couple rain showers. And then, of course, as we go into 3 and 4 o'clock, just some isolated rain showers. So you might want to make sure to tell the kids, it's going to be nice weather, temperature-wise, but you might recommend that they take a poncho, because they could get a little wet while they're down there on Wednesday. Let's go see what else we have. Hi, Janet. Jerry, what are you seeing for Bennett this weekend? Saturday's Kids Day. Man, Saturday is looking awesome right now. Saturday is looking good. And actually, I've got... Let me jump over here real quick. I actually was going to go past Friday, but I kind of ran out of room in my picture, so I couldn't go any further. But I will tell you that right now, anyway, Saturday is probably going to be, Saturday and Sunday are probably going to be pretty decent days overall. So it's going to warm back up. We'll be back up in the mid-70s, as well as having just a slight chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon. But for the most of the day, it's going to be beautiful down there. I'm a little bit envious. I love to go to Bennett. So, yeah, Saturday and Sunday look pretty decent. But again, chance for thunderstorms. We're still going to have a system nearby, so make sure that you dress and prepare accordingly for maybe a thunderstorm. Let's go back over here. Oh, hey, Spoon. We just kind of talked about that. Talked about Bennett. Bennett's actually, it's looking like going to be a pretty good weekend. Now, Sunday evening, we have another system coming through. Right now, there is a potential for some severe weather on Sunday afternoon. So if you are planning on staying the weekend down at Bennett, you might plan on maybe wrapping things up. Maybe after you get done catching your limit after opening bell. Hey Tim. Spaceadilla. Oh, I am too. I'm excited. Had a couple schools last week, and get to do Clinton Middle School again this year. Had a great time. Miss Connor's class, they're a hoot. I can't wait to see who I get to pick on this year, because we got a lot of fun things planned for them. Amy, how much more rain are we expecting with these storms? So, and again, right now through Friday, it's showing between 1.25 inches to 1.75 inches, and that's the max. So that's pretty much the max that they can squeeze out of the clouds. We typically don't get that. So I can probably reasonably expect 1/2 to 1 inch of additional precipitation for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Yeah, tomorrow would be a good day to get your mowing done. Absolutely. It's going to be a nice day through the day, plenty of sunshine. But then again, tomorrow night, we're going to have a chance for rain. And Wednesday don't look all that bad. We're just watching for the potential of maybe a couple strong storms. But Wednesday's not going to be a bad day. Thursday is going to be the day that we're probably going to pick up about 80% of that 3/4 to 1 inch I just mentioned on Thursday. It's going to be just off and on periods of rain and thunderstorms. Now, granted, if you get up underneath, if a couple of these storms get a little stronger and you get up underneath them, it won't be anything to pick up a 1/2 inch underneath one of these thunderstorms any one of these days. So you can add that to that total as well, but that's going to be very scattered. All right. Answer most of the questions. Now we're going to kind of switch gears just a little bit, and we're going to talk about the LRC. And I'm going to bring over the LRC dashboard. Let's see if I can maybe shrink this up just a little bit. So you guys can see the whole page here. Do a little fine tuning here. There we go. So this is the LRC dashboard. So this is what Gary Lezak and his team has worked on over the last decade to bring about, and they base this upon the LRC model, Lezak recurring cycle, and real quickly, every year is unique. It sets up in October, and it typically runs through the end of October. and then a new LRC cycle begins. Every year, the number of days in between the cycles through the year is different. One year might be 30 days, one year might be 39 days. Every year is different. This year, it's 45 days. So what that means is that you can take the upper level air maps, those are the steering winds at 18,000 feet above our heads that we always take a look at. They're going to be almost identical to what it was 45 days ago. You put them on top of each other, they look almost identical. And every 45 days, that cycle repeats itself. So, just in simplicity, once you find out how many days are in between the cycles, then you can do long-range forecasting all the way for the next 10 months. So that's the LRC, and it is remarkably accurate. So through several of the studies, the 120-day forecast is 89.2% accurate, whereas the 3-day National Weather Service forecast was like 84.5%. So it really is incredible methodology, technology that Gary Lezak and Weather 2020 has devised over the last 30 years. They have spent on research, and of course Gary Lezak was a meteorologist for several years up at KSHB in Kansas City, and that is Channel 41. So let's just kind of dive into this. So what I'm looking at the month of May for our 8 counties here in west central Missouri that we kind of focus on. And we're doing kind of a weekly look at temperatures and rainfall week to week and how it stacks up based upon a 30-year average. So over a 30-year average, if we're sitting at 100% of precipitation expected for the month, that's great news. That means over the course of the last 30 years for the week, for the month of May, if we're at 100%, we're doing exceptionally good. If we're sitting at 75, 80%, we're good. It's whenever you start seeing these 15, 20, 25, 30%, that's when we start getting worried for the farmer. You start noticing a trend of a drought. And so that is something we don't like to look at or to see on the dashboard. But amazingly, going all the way till September, our precipitation and our temperatures are looking 75% to well over 100% of a 30-year average each week, every month through September. So that's awesome news in the agriculture sense. Now, it's if we take a look at April, we were supposed to be at 125% of average, which was extremely wet, obviously. But I don't think it was looking at 10 inches of rain over 4 days wet. So you have to look at the LRC as a long range forecast model. Going day to day, it's basing all that data on this long range forecast. So there are going to be a few discrepancies. It's not perfect, but it is amazingly accurate and something that I have followed now over about the last 15 years myself personally. So, and thanks to all of your generosity here at Subby's Weather Talk, we do a spring fundraiser. We have a fun raffle. We get a bunch of donated prizes throughout the community, weather radios, and it's a goodwill donation. People, whether it's $1, $2, $3, $25, it doesn't make any difference. You get an entry into the raffle. We do a live raffle, and then you win prizes. And of course, that money is put back into Subby's Weather Talk, into all the software, into the website hosting, the streaming software, the cameras, the computers, and of course, what you're looking at here is being a corporate sponsor of Weather 2020 and the LRC, which is very, very expensive, but the amount of data that we can collect through this is priceless. So here's our 8 counties right here. So what it's looking at, it's looking for the month of May, the high temperature forecast versus average, and this is a good indicator. It's we're going to be about 3 degrees warmer in all 8 counties compared to average over the 30 years, which is great. It's not signaling for any kind of extreme heat or extreme cold. And average is definitely what you want if you're a farmer or if you're in an agriculture industry. That's what you like to see. You like to see average. So you don't need to see 10 inches of rain in 4 days. That's for sure. So here is the month of May. So we have May 1st, 5th, 9th, 13th, 17th, 21st, and 25th. So here is the average, is this red line. Okay? And here is the forecast from the LRC. So obviously on the 29th and on the 1st, we're going to be about average. And then we're going to have a little cold spell right around the 5th, 6th of May. And then it's going to start warming back up, and we are going to be running a little bit higher than average by a couple degrees on average. So that's where that 3 degrees comes from. They plot this out week by week and what the forecast based on the 30-year average is. So say like on May 5th, we can take a look. May 5th, the 30-year average is 75.41, and the forecast for that day on 5/6 is 73.81. So a little bit under the red line, under average. And then of course when we get to the 21st, let's go with the 20th, the 30-year average is 77.84. And the forecast high for May 20th is 84.89 degrees. So, we can expect a big warming trend through the last 2 weeks of May. And of course, coming along with that is going to be the threat of thunderstorms. So let's see how that compares. So it looks like... So here is the percent of average for all the counties. We have our eastern counties, Benton and Pettis County is looking at about 80% of average, which is good. We have St. Clair, Henry, and Johnson look like in the 68 to 74%, which is good. It is definitely doable. And then we have our western counties, which is Cass, Bates, and Vernon, and they're in the 56 to 62%. So all in all, May looks to be a good month precipitation wise. Now week to week, we can take a look here. Going into this weekend. And for the next few days after this weekend, we're looking like we're going to be well below average for the week in precipitation. We go into the second week, May 6th, and we're still low. We're still about 60% of precipitation based on a 30-year average. And then we jump over here to the middle of the month, right around the 13th. And now we're at 150% of average. So that in this time frame, around the 13th, we're going to likely see a large storm system come through. Being the time of year, likely going to be some severe weather associated with it, and so we can expect this week to be really wet, and then we'll dry out for the last 2 weeks of the month. So that is how this dashboard works. We're able to take a look at precipitation averages, temperature averages, and all the graphs and all the pictures are all nice and dandy if you know how to use them. But this global predictor software that's coming out this week, we won't have to do none of this. If you want a specific forecast for a day, one click and I can get you the forecast for the day. Incredible technology. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but say you're going on vacation in August for a week to Orlando, Florida, I can give you what the forecast is for that week based on the LRC in about 45 seconds. So how cool is that? That's what I'm excited for. So that's pretty much the dashboard, and I can do any county, I can do any month. So if you like I had one gentleman talking about the wheat harvest. Sure. I mean, I can pick out what month you want. I can do it day by day, week by week, and I can put all this into a format and send it to you on email. You guys are the ones that help pay for this software, so I want to make sure I give back. I've done several people. I've done about 30 people so far here in the room that I have sent portfolios over to them with certain months, certain places that they would like to see what the forecast would be. Mainly on the ag side. They want to know when their wet and dry weeks are in June, and again at harvest time in September. So a lot of useful information can be, and a lot of preparation. If you know that the first 2 weeks in September are going to be extremely dry, but the last two is going to be extremely wet, those 2 weeks you better plan on, you're going to be working your tail off those first 2 weeks in September. So, great planning tool. Hi, Julia. Okay, so again, we'll do just a little bit of a recap. Beautiful day tomorrow, 83 degrees. Tuesday night, of course, we've got that chance to see some thunderstorms. Some may be strong to severe. Wednesday, sunny with the chance of afternoon storms. It's not going to be a washout. It's going to be an actually pretty decent day, but we'll be watching for some stronger storms in the afternoon. Wednesday night, another chance of strong thunderstorms. And then Thursday night will likely be several periods of rain and thunderstorms. We'll start to cool down just a little bit on Thursday, high of 75 with the low of 50. So it'll be pretty chilly in the morning. And then on Friday, we will be cooler again with a little bit of sunshine, maybe a few sprinkles, a few showers with the high right around 70 degrees. So if anybody has any questions, look, I think I've got everything pretty much answered right now in the chat. So if you think of a question after we get off of here, shoot me a message. I'll be on looking at the model data here for about the next hour or so before I will turn in for the night and prepare for possibility of a couple long nights. So thank you guys for following. Make sure if you know anybody here in West Central Missouri that might not know about our room, about YouTube, man, make sure you spread them. This weekend, prime example. At one point in time, we had over 3,000 people watching the stream. 3,000 people we were warning ahead of time. Thank goodness that the storm lifted up about a mile from Clinton city limits. But thank goodness we had 3,000 people watching our streams being prepared for the worst. And that is our goal here. That is our goal. All right, guys. You bet. See you, Uncle Tim. Hi, Misty. Hey, thanks, Janet. And thank you guys for all the kind words over the last couple days. It was awfully touching. It was pretty chaotic Friday and Saturday, but we got everybody where they needed to go. Total of 3 bus loads and 1 van full of kids from Clinton and out of town. We was able to get them to safety on Saturday night, and again, thankful that the storm dissipated before entering the city. Yes, make sure to turn on notifications for this page. I tried to put a little, at least a little statement in our main group that I am going live over here on this on our advisory page, but we had to make that big change last week because of Facebook new regulations. You cannot live stream in a group anymore. So at least a lot of the software is not able to be used in groups on Facebook anymore. So, but I can if I pay $199 a month. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. And if anybody has any questions, again, reach out to me, and I will be hanging around for about another hour or so. Have a great night, and we'll be talking to you soon.